Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showing you how to use chalk paint. I'm specifically showing you how I refinish a coffee table that I got. It's an old coffee table. I got it for like 50 bucks. And you can do this with any type of old piece of furniture that you have. It can already be stained and have a sealant on top of it, and you don't have to sand it down. If it is a super glossy sealant, I would maybe sand it down a little bit just to rough it up so that the chalk paint does adhere well, but I did not sand this one down at all. All I did is I took a wet rag, I wiped it down to get all the dirt or any extra layer on top. And then I dried it off, and then what we do is we go in with the chalk paint. I really like the Sloan paint. This is the old white, and my preferable paintbrush is a 2-inch angle paintbrush. I really like the Worcester, but I had the Purdy here at home. What they recommend at the store is this little paintbrush. Now this is great if you have a small piece of furniture, but this just takes me forever. It does paint well. I really like this one. However, I just don't have the time to paint with a small paintbrush, so I use this one. I put one coat of this on first. And then I go in with a second coat of this. Now what you can do as many coats as you want. So if you really want your furniture completely covered, you can do 3 coats. I could have done 3 coats to make it purely white without anything showing through, and it may only take you 2 coats of paint to cover everything and not let any of the wood show through. And chalk paint doesn't take long to dry. It takes maybe 30 minutes to an hour. So you can do that in one day. And then what you go in with the third step is the clear paint wax. I like the Sloan. This just seals it, and I like the clear because I don't want any color added to it. You're going to put this on fully, and what you're going to do is you're going to do it in a circular buffing motion. And then I use this buffing brush. I got this at the paint store that sells our chalk paint, and you're just going to dip it into the container, kind of swirl it around, and then you're also going to create circular motions. You're going to buff this wax into the paint. So circular motions, it does take a while to do this, but it's very important. It helps smooth out your wax. Once you have this on, you're going to buff it in with a rag. So you're just going to do more circular motions and kind of buff it in. Make sure it's really smooth in there. You're going to let that dry overnight. The next morning or next day, you're going to take your sandpaper, and you can take 220 or 320. Here I use the 320. I just cut it up into little pieces, and you're just going to lightly rub back and forth really fast. It's really going to smooth out your surface, smooth out that wax sealant. And then what I also like to do is go in with a more coarse sandpaper. This is just a sandpaper block, and really rough up the edges wherever you want the paint to actually come off and you want to show the wood from behind through. You just go through and really rub really hard, and it's going to make that table look even more distressed. Sanded everything that you want to sand, you want to take a rag and just really rub that table down so there's no extra soot on there, no extra paint or powder. And then you're going to go in with your second coat of your chalk paint wax. You're going to do the exact same thing that you did before. You're just going to do circular motions, buff it in really well. And then you're just gonna wipe it down good, really buff it in with a rag. And you could let it set overnight and do a third coat if you really want it sealed even more. For the coffee table, I feel like it only needs 2 layers of the wax. If you were doing, say, in kitchen cabinets and you want it perfectly smooth, you want it sealed really well, you may want to do a 3rd layer of that wax. Really buff it in there. Do your sandpaper. Again, the higher the sandpaper you get when you smooth it out, you go really fast motions back and forth. You don't want to rub that paint off. You're just trying to smooth out that wax coat. You can go a little bit higher than 320 2020 and it will really make that cabinet nice and smooth, or that piece of furniture. And that is how you use chalk paint. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.